So if you know me, you know there's a couple things in this world that I cannot live without food-wise. One is poutine, which we'll get into probably next week. The other is macaroni and cheese. Yeah, basically we're going to be taking a bit of a more scientific look at macaroni and cheese. I think this is everything that I need. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so when you think macaroni and cheese, you think pasta, and that's mostly what people think about. There's actually a science to mac and cheese. Alright, so first thing, we're going to talk about pastas. Okay, so when you think mac and cheese, you usually think elbow noodles. I was going to throw this, but I realized this is open, and that probably wouldn't have been a good idea. Rigatoni. It's like elbow noodles, except without the curve, but it does have those ridges, which is going to kind of bind onto that sauce. Cavatappi. I know I probably just butchered that name. It has a small enough hole to where if cheese gets in there, it's not leaving, but it also has those ridges which are going to kind of hold onto that cheese and give us a nice cheesy noodle. Cheesy noodle. That was a cheesy joke. Alright, next thing to consider is sauce. You want to consider what type of cheese you're using. So, last week we did a bechamel sauce, and we added the ricotta cheese. The reason for that is because we use aged cheeses like Gouda, Parmesan, Gruyere, Swiss, Cheddar. Those have a higher oil content than something like Brie cheese or ricotta cheese that are more fresher. So, to kind of offset that oil, we're going to add a little bit of Brie to this mac and cheese. For every 8 ounces of whatever aged cheese you use, you want to use half of that in fresh cheese. Alright, so like really big disclaimer, I realize I'm not a scientist. This could all be me blowing smoke out of my butt, but it's fine. It's fine. I will say this mac and cheese came out amazing. So there's that. Anyways, let's get to boiling this pasta. So you're gonna fill up your pot about a little bit under halfway or just above how much pasta you have. So like you want to get the least amount of water as possible because you want to be able to get a good concentration of that starch. It's gonna help bind our sauce together because that's what starch does. It holds things together. So yeah, get your boiling pot of water, add your salt, season your water. It's pretty important. There's some other stuff. I mean, I could get into the whole science of seasoning water, but whatever. Also, don't let your pot overboil. Once you've gotten your pasta to al dente, you're gonna reserve 1/4 of a cup of that starch water, and then you're going to strain your pasta. Alright, we've covered bechamel before, but in case you didn't watch the lasagna video, this is for you. Start with 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and you're just gonna stir that over medium heat until it's all incorporated. But for this, we're gonna look for a blonde roux. Again, there's 3 types of roux: blonde, brown, dark. We want blonde. So it's gonna look kind of like buttery still. You want to cook it until that look is gone and it starts to turn white. Once it starts to really start to bubble though, you're going to add your 1/4 of a cup of starch water and incorporate that. At that point, you should be good. All right, now slowly start adding your heavy cream while constantly stirring. Do not stop stirring this bechamel. It can break. No one likes broken bechamel. It's just a bad situation. But yeah. And then after you've gotten, your heavy cream starting to incorporate, just keep stirring, slowly add it in there. And yeah, that's pretty much how you do bechamel sauce. So, overheated camera strikes again. Here we are going to add our shredded cheese because we've already added the Brie cheese. If you're gonna add a cheese with the rind, make sure the rind is edible if you're gonna add the whole thing. My Brie cheese was completely edible, so I added the whole thing. Anyways, add 8 ounces of your shredded cheese and just incorporate that. You should have a smooth, creamy bechamel sauce. And if you have more shredded cheese left over, you can use it to sprinkle over the top. You can use it for the layers we're gonna do in just a moment, or you can just save it for something else. All right, once you've gotten your bechamel pretty much done, this is the point where you need to taste and season accordingly. If it needs more salt, add more salt. If you need more pepper, add more pepper. If it needs, I don't know, if you want spicy mac and cheese, add crushed red pepper. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys how to make your mac and cheese. Just don't put vegetables in it. But yeah, so at this point you can season your mac and cheese, and that's pretty much it. All right, so this step is not as important, but something I like to do. We're going to add our bechamel to our pasta, but not all of the bechamel sauce. We're gonna add just enough to get a coat on the pasta, and then we're just gonna save the rest for the next step.
Okay, so this step is one of those optional steps, right? So it's gonna help with how this comes out, but it's not necessary. If you want, you can just put all this into a dish, bake it for like a few minutes, and then boom, you're good. We're just looking for the top to get, oh gosh, I'm just gonna come down here. We're looking for the top to get some golden brownness, some crustiness. So we're gonna do a couple things to ensure that. First off, we're gonna layer this. We're gonna do a layer of our bechamel, because we have a good bit left, layer of our pasta, and then a layer of bechamel. And then we're gonna put in the oven for 30 minutes at 375, covered, and then we're gonna uncover it, give it until it gets golden brown on top, and then that's it. That's macaroni and cheese.
Okay, I'm gonna call this episode Calin Corrects Himself, because holy freaking crap. The layers for the mac and cheese are bechamel sauce, pasta, bechamel, cheese, and then you do another layer of pasta, bechamel, and then cheese. That's literally all it is. Anyways, once you've gotten that layered up, you're gonna put it into your oven at 375 for 30 minutes, covered, and then you're gonna take the cover off, and you're going to either just cook it until it gets golden brown, or if you want, you can do like I did and turn on your broiler. If you do the broiler trick, make sure you watch it. All right, watch it like it's your favorite TV show, because if the top of this burns, you're stuck with a big old burnt crust on top of your macaroni and cheese. Alright, before we get into any tasting, I need to acknowledge something. Whoever figured this out, this is genius. Also, when do you guys put these in the fridge after you've opened your box of pasta? I'm curious, because it doesn't say it anywhere on the box. But it's been a thing I've been doing for like ever. But this is what we came here for. I mean, look at this. Look at that. You got the stringy cheesiness. It's still creamy. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. Spot on. That's what's up. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, comment below if you want anything specific. Kelly, I didn't forget about your request. I'm still working on it. The different regional sauces thing, it sounds like a fun idea, and I think I know how I'm gonna get it done. I'm just trying to figure out like a few things before I do a video on that, but we're gonna do that for sure. But yeah, for now, this is it. This is the thing. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video.